mengantar langkah kecil menuju impian besar yang menjadi kenyataan. Universitas Janabadra merupakan lembaga pendidikan yang diselenggarakan oleh Yayasan Perguruan Tinggi Janabadra. Terletak tak jauh dari pusat kota Yogyakarta, membuat Universitas Janabadra memiliki akses yang mudah dijangkau dari manapun. Universitas Janabadra memiliki cita-cita luhur untuk membangun negeri dengan terus mencetak prestasi dan inovasi yang bermanfaat bagi masyarakat. Dengan berasaskan Pancasila dan Undang-Undang Dasar 1945, berwawasan kebangsaan, memiliki jati diri nasionalisme dan patriotisme. Universitas Janabadra mempersiapkan peserta didiknya menjadi insan intelektual yang profesional, berbudaya, dan bermoral tinggi. Visi dan rencana strategis Universitas Janabadra yaitu dengan mengembangkan potensi mahasiswa agar menjadi manusia yang berwawasan kebangsaan dan nasionalisme dalam mengabdikan diri bagi kepentingan bangsa dan negara, serta mendorong tumbuhnya jiwa entrepreneurship, technopreneurship, dan sociopreneurship di kalangan sivitas akademika. Kami memberikan pilihan bidang studi yang terbagi pada 4 fakultas dengan 11 program studi yang terdiri atas 8 program sarjana dan 3 program magister. Fakultas Hukum menyelenggarakan pendidikan tinggi hukum pada jenjang program sarjana dan program magister hukum. Kami memiliki visi menjadikan program studi hukum yang mampu menghasilkan sarjana hukum yang menguasai teori dan penerapan ilmu hukum yang dilandasi semangat nasionalisme dan kebangsaan. Tujuan kami menghasilkan sarjana hukum yang siap mengabdikan diri bagi kepentingan bangsa dan negara, menguasai teori, serta memiliki keahlian profesi hukum yang berkualitas, bermoral, dan berintegritas tinggi. Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis memiliki 3 program studi jenjang sarjana, yaitu Manajemen, Akuntansi, dan Ekonomi Pembangunan, serta 1 program Magister Manajemen. Kami memiliki tujuan menghasilkan lulusan yang mandiri dengan mengembangkan potensi dan kompetensi di ilmu ekonomi dan bisnis yang handal, berdaya saing di bidang ilmu ekonomi dan bisnis yang berlandaskan pada nilai-nilai kebangsaan dan nasionalisme. Fakultas Teknik Universitas Janabadra terdiri dari 3 program studi jenjang sarjana, yaitu Teknik Sipil, Informatika, dan Teknik Mesin, serta 1 program Magister Teknik Sipil. Tujuan kami yaitu menjadikan mahasiswa Fakultas Teknik yang berorientasi masa depan, yang bertumpu pada upaya penguatan wawasan kebangsaan, ilmu pengetahuan, dan teknologi. Fakultas Teknik memiliki visi menjadi fakultas teknik yang unggul dan disegani, serta merupakan kebanggaan bangsa Indonesia. Fakultas Pertanian memiliki program studi agribisnis yang berkualitas unggul di bidang pertanian berkelanjutan. Visi misi kami adalah menyelenggarakan pendidikan program sarjana untuk menghasilkan sumber daya manusia yang mempunyai etos kerja tinggi dan berjiwa kewirausahaan di bidang agribisnis. Tujuan kami yaitu untuk menghasilkan lulusan yang berkemampuan akademik unggul di bidang agribisnis. Berfokus pada peningkatan dan pengembangan kompetensi, kami juga memiliki lembaga akselerator untuk menghadapi isu strategis perkembangan ketenagakerjaan yang disebut Pusat Pengembangan Kompetensi dan berhasil mendorong beberapa program studi memenangkan hibah program kompetisi Kampus Merdeka. Untuk menjamin implementasi program Merdeka, Belajar Kampus Merdeka, Universitas Janabadra terus membangun kolaborasi dengan dunia usaha dan dunia industri dengan berbagai perguruan tinggi dalam maupun luar negeri untuk pengembangan inovasi pembelajaran. Kami juga memiliki kelas malam yang menjadi salah satu unggalan utama dari Universitas Janabadra.
Saya Chandra, Ketua Komisi A DPRD Kota Jogja, alumni Fakultas Pertanian Universitas Janabadra tahun 2013. Mari bergabung di kampus UJB, kampus kebangsaan yang didirikan oleh Wali Kota Jogja kedua. Bergabung bersama kami untuk menjadi calon pemimpin bangsa. Sukses selalu.
Saya Dr. Heri Jerman sebagai Kepala Biro Umum pada Kejaksaan Agung, selaku alma mater Fakultas Hukum Universitas Janabadra yang diwisuda tahun 1991. Ada pepatah mengatakan, kacang jangan lupa pada kulitnya. Saya mengajak pada semua sahabat, jangan pernah lupakan Janabadra yang pernah bersamamu hingga membuatmu cerdas dan pintar.
Di kampus ini, mahasiswa ditempa dan kami selalu mengingatkan kepada mereka bahwa menjadi hebat itu tidak hanya berwawasan luas, tapi juga memberi makna.
Good morning. Greeting from Yogyakarta, Indonesia. Please welcome International Conference of Environmental Law, Applied Science, Technology, icoflast 2021.
It's such an honor to be your host for today. So we're students from Faculty of Law, Janabadra, University of Yogyakarta.
I'm Winarno.
I'm Lintari.
We're going to be your host for today.
So the time of today is of icoflast 2021, Sustainable Conservation Movement to Protect Nature and Global Warming Mitigation.
Wow, that's one of the best themes that I have heard.
Absolutely,
It's about the eco-friendly, about the environment, is about heart. About talking about the planets that we live in, about planet that only one that can be lived by human. Okay, without further ado, let's need to be mentioned. Your Honorable Dr. Hanim Kamarudin, LLM, PhD from University Kebangsaan, Malaysia.
Your Honorable Associated Professor Insinyur Dr. Bazar Muhammad, Sea Engineering Vice from University Technology of Patrons, Malaysia.
And also your Honorable Dr. Ho Yi Chia from University Technology of Petronas, Malaysia.
Your Honorable Professor Tommy Suryo Utomo, SHLLM PhD, is a Grandmaster Faculty of Law, Janabadra University of Yogyakarta.
Your Honorable, the Chairman of the Foundation of Janabadra University, represented by the Treasurer, Mr. Insinyur Surip Harjo, MM.
Your Honorable Dr. Insinyur Edi Sriyono, MT, as a Rector from Janabadra University, Yogyakarta.
Tari, before we continue this conference, we like to invite to all the participants to have a moment to thank and praise our God for the opportunity, so we all gather together, united in icoflast 2021. Let's pray in our religion and belief so this event will bless and running well.
So a moment to pray, start from now. Amen. Finish.
We like to request all of you to rise because we like to comment this conference by singing national anthem of the Republic of Indonesia. And we'll continue with the March Janabadra University.
So this section will be held by Fernanda from Faculty of University of Janabadra. Please, Fernanda, the stage is yours.
And continue with the March Janabadra University.
Thank you, and kindly be seated.
Tari, do you know that Indonesia has a lot of principles?
Yes,
One
I
of
know.
it is tak kenal maka tak sayang. which is in English, it means if you did know somebody, how you gonna love them? So I invite to all the participants to be loved, to be loving, and especially Universitas Janabadra. So I'm about to spill a little bit information about Janabadra. Janabadra University was founded by KPH Sudarisman Purwokusumo on 7 October 1958. So Janabadra was founded by the second major of Special Region Yogyakarta. Until now, at the very moment, Universitas Janabadra has 4 faculties, which is Faculty of Law with the A accreditation, Faculty of Agriculture with A accreditation, Faculty of Economic with the B accreditation, and Faculty of Engineering with the B accreditation. So, Tari, about the conference, I'm a bit confused, just a bit. So, can you tell me what is the international conference is about?
Absolutely, yes. So this time Faculty of Law Janabadra University brought a theme: Sustainable Conservation Movement to Protect Nature and Global Warming Mitigation. So based on this theme, we are called for papers from around the whole world. Do you know how many papers did we received?
Well, how many?
So there's a 15 that we received.
Yep. How many?
There's some 15 papers that we received.
Wow, that's a number.
Yeah, of course. So by the time, this is the first international conference that held by Faculty of Law University of Janabadra, and we do hope that in the future, this conference is sustainable and continue.
Go back to international participant is consist from 4 countries. Am I right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Which countries?
So the first country is Emirat Arab.
Can I have big applause for Emirates Arab?
And then the second country, Taiwan.
Let's big applause for Taiwan.
And the third country is Iraq.
Once more, big applause for Iraq.
And the fourth country is Malaysia.
Yes, our neighbor. Please big applause for Malaysia.
And also the host country is, the host country icoflast 2021 is Indonesia.
Indonesia. We do hope all the papers from international participants. We wish you a very good luck. We like to welcome the generals, chairmen, and the first Vice Dean, Law Faculty, University of Janabadra, Dr. Dia Permata Budi Asri, SH, MKN, to deliver the welcoming speech. Miss Dia Permata Ayu Budi Asri, the time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Excellency all keynote speaker, Dr. Hanim Kamarudin LLB, LLM PhD from University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Associate Professor Insinyur Dr. Basar S. Muhammad, CNN, Faiz, from University Technology Petronas Malaysia. Dr. Hoyek Chia, from University Technology Petronas Malaysia. And Professor Tommy Surya Utomo, SH LLM PhD from Faculty of Law, University Janabadra, Indonesia. The Honorable Head of Higher Education Service Institute, Regional 5, Head of College Foundation, Dr. Andes Surya Diman MM, represented by Mr. Surip, Insinyur Surip Taharjo MM, Rector of Janabadra University, and all participants of this conference. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This morning, very great to us because now we can be heard on the first international conference of environmental law, applied science and technology, icoflast 2021. First of all, I would like to thank the Master of Ceremony for giving me a great honor to deliver welcome speech in this good opportunity. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to the first International Conference of Environmental Law, Applied Science and Technology, this hybrid conference, icoflast 2021. On behalf of the organizing committee, I welcome you all and thank you so much for coming here. The conference theme is Sustainable Conservation Movement to Protect Nature and Global Warming Mitigation. Nations of the world have to date pursued nature protection and climate change mitigation and adaptation policies separately, but efforts have failed to achieve the scale of action needed to help biodiversity loss or mitigate climate change. At present, the world is facing serious challenge. Billions of people around the world are suffering from its climate emergency and the COVID-19 pandemic. Ecosystems are indispensable allies as we face this challenge. Protecting them and managing their resources sustainably is very important. Sustainable management is needed to maintain the balance of nature from natural damage caused by global warming and other factors. So that efforts are needed from various fields in the context of sustainable environmental management and preservation. Today in this conference, discuss on sustainable environmental management from various scientific disciplines will be presented. This conference was attended by various participants from various regions and countries from Indonesia, Malaysia, Taiwan, Arab, and Iran. And since science registration open, 50 papers has been submitted. We express our great appreciation to the presenter both from abroad and from Indonesia, such as University Wijayakusuma, University Lampung, YKPN, Universitas Islam Indonesia, Universitas Hasanuddin, Kementerian Kelautan dan Perikanan, Sikip Muhammadiyah Muara Bango, Bada LNG, Universitas Nahdlatul Ulama Sidoarjo, School of Meteorology and Geographic, IPB, 8 Badan Riset Inovasi Nasional, ITB, dan NITN Malang for their participation. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the conference organizing committee for their hard work. I also want to thank the participants for joining us and sharing your valuable experience and ideas. It's very important to bring together experts from various education backgrounds so that we can realize the impact of nature damage and sustainable mitigation effort based on scientific development. We are realists that our international conference isn't perfect yet. There are so many weaknesses, but I hope you are understanding us because we are still in the learning process. We have been working hard to perform our best for you all, and we hope you guys enjoy the conference. So thank you for your participation for this conference. In closing, I hope that all of you will enjoy the conference and good luck. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Dia. It's a very heartwarming welcoming speech.
And
Next
we also like to welcome Dr. Sudiana SHM Hum as the Dean of Law Faculty of Janabadra University of Yogyakarta to deliver welcoming speech. Mr. Sudiana, the time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and greeting to all of us. Distinguished research person, number one, Dr. Hanim Kamarudin from Faculty of Law, University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Number two, Associate Professor Dr. Basar Muhammad from Civil and Environmental Engineering Petronas, University of Technology. Number three, Dr. Hoyak Chia, Civil and Environmental Engineering Department, Petronas, University of Technology. Four, from Prof. Tommy Surya Utomo, SLM, PhD, Faculty of Law, University of Janabadra. The Honorable Heads of Higher Education Service Institute, Regional 5, Yogyakarta. Chairperson of Yayasan Perguruan Tinggi Janabadra, Representative Prof. Mr. Surip Harjo. Counselor and Vice Counselor, Universitas Janabadra, Dr. Insinyur Edi Sriono, Ibu Siti Rohmaika, Bapak Eko Nurhayanto, Ibu Erna Sri Wibawanti. Counselor of Wijaya Kusuma University Purwokerto, Deans and Vice Deans at the Universitas of Janabadra, Deans of Faculty of Law, Wijaya Kusuma University Purwokerto, whom we respect, ladies and gentlemen, presenter and author, Mr. and Mrs. Lecturer at Janabadra University Janabadra, all committee members and participants of the 221 International Conference of Environmental Law, Applied Science and Technology. Happy one. First of all, let's us say thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, Almighty God, for His abundance of grace, powers, guidance. We can meet both offline and online in good faith without missing anything. On behalf of the Faculty of Law Janabadra University, we extended our respect and gratitude to the management of the Higher Education Foundation and the Janabadra University, Rector, and all the committee that support and carry out the international conference activities. Research person from UKM and Petronas, as well as presenter and author. The lecturer and all participants of the 221 International Conference of Environmental Law, Applied Science and Technology. And at the same time expresses apologies if in the organization of this international conference there are still shortcomings and mistakes. Ladies and gentlemen, who I respect, the 221 International Conference of Environmental Law, Applied Science and Technology activities are one of the supporting main performance indicators both of the faculty and university level to improve the quality of lecture, scientific works. Topics in this activity are related to the fields of environmental law, the application of science and technology. As we collectively understand the unitary state of the Republic of Indonesia as an archipelagic state must be preserved for the environment to realize the goals of the state of the Republic of Indonesia as in paragraph 4 of the preamble to the 1945 Constitution, namely protecting the entire nation and the homeland of Indonesia. Education educating the nation's life and realizing prosperity and justice public. Various efforts have been taken by the state community groups, including universities, in preserving the environment following their authorities and function. Environmental dynamics aided to the natural characteristic or due to the behavior of people and or corporation in these decades in the truly alarming. Environmental damage can occur due to investment in the mining sector. Forest management with a consensus system that result in forest fires, as well as natural factors such as eruption, landslides, floods, sea and tides existed to participate in taking environmental damage according to its function. This international conference was held as a means to gain theory and science in informing and enforcing environmental law and technology. Ladies and gentlemen, I respect. We, the Faculty of Law, University of Janabadra, since really hope from competent research person, presenter, and author to provide enlightenment related to science in the fight of environmental law and technology in this activity, which in the end can provide advice to the state in the context of protecting the environment and in developing science in the field of environmental law and technology. So what can I say? More or less, I apologize profusely. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for the speech, Mr. Sudiana.
Let's continue. Let's having an opening remark by the Rector of University of Janabadra, Mr. Dr. Insinyur Edi Sriyono, MT. Mr. Edi, the time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished all keynote speakers, Dr. Hanim Kamarudin, PhD, Associate Professor Dr. Basar S. Mohammed, Dr. Ho Yik Sia, Professor Tommy Suryo Utomo, PhD, the Honorable Head of Higher Education Service Institute, Regional 5 Yogyakarta, Insinyur Surip Harjo from Yayasan Perguruan Tinggi Janabadra, Rektor Wijaya Kusuma University Purwokerto, Dean Faculty of Law Wijaya Kusuma University Purwokerto, all icoflast committee, and all participants of this conference. It is my great pleasure and on behalf of Janabadra University to welcome all of you from abroad and within Indonesia to participate in the first international conference of environmental law, applied sciences and technology, or icoflast 2021. I'm very pleased and to thank the keynote speakers and conference participants who have joined us both virtual and on-site today. I also warmly welcome the presenters from various universities, both from Indonesia and from abroad, who have participated in this conference. First, let us always be grateful to God for all His gifts, so that we are all still given health. This conference was held in collaboration between Janabadra University, Faculty of Law, Janabadra University, and Faculty of Law, Wijaya Kusuma University, Purwokerto. Especially, we would like to thank the Dean of the Faculty of Law, Wijaya Kusuma University, Purwokerto. Even though in the COVID-19 pandemic that hit various parts of the world, including Indonesia, we are still trying to hold academic activities such as international conference, even though with limitation due to restriction in various countries. This conference aims to provide a forum for research, academicians, and well as industrial professionals from all over the world to hear results of the latest research and development activities in the field or applied environmental science, environmental engineering, environmental law and policy, to debate methodological issues and to discuss emerging and further areas of research. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the conference organizing committee for their hard work. By saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I officially open the first international conference of environmental law, applied sciences and technology, or icoflast 2021. I hope you enjoy today's conference. May you have a very successful conference, and thank you for participating. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dr. Insinyur Edi Srieno, MT. So, like it being said, the big section of icoflast 2021 officially starts. Let's have a moment by taking the picture together. Tari, do you want to tell us about what you're wearing for today?
So now I'm wearing Japanese clothes. It's called kebaya.
Okay, so it's from Japanese tradition?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like our ones as well. Okay. So, because we do love taking a picture, let's take a picture together.
So for all the participants from via Zoom, please turn on your camera and give your best smile to the camera.
So please, all the attendants and the chief and participant, let's take a picture together and united in the center of the stage. And also we're going to guided by the committee to take a picture from Zoom as well.
Okay.
So the participant from the Zoom, you have to give us your best smile and let's save the moment.
So maybe we're gonna count from 1, 2, 3.
Okay, Tari. So we're going to do the online first for taking a picture. And after that, we're going to online a photo section.
Okay.
What about that?
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, agree. But
Okay, so let's get to it.
so maybe I'm gonna ask the operator. Operator, are you guys ready?
Committee and operators, are you guys ready?
Okay, so the participants, are you ready?
I think they're about to
Okay.
ready. I heard some of them, they born ready.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, for the pictures. So, Tari, we are living in the social media era, and everybody love to save a moment by taking pictures.
Yeah, of course.
So, all participants, please give your best smiles, even though you are wearing a mask. You can do the smile
Yeah.
through the eyes,
Yeah, of course.
through the gesture, or through the
You can give your best gesture to the camera, right?
yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. We get used to it. This pandemic is already almost 2 years, so all of us is already get used to it, to wear masks, to take a picture with it.
Yeah.
One, two, three.
Cheers.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for the
Thank you for the
offline
participants here.
participants. You may back to your seats. And we're going to continue with the online. Ibu, sungkem. So, next step, we're going to take a pictures from the online section photo.
So now I'm gonna asking the operator once again. The operator, are you guys ready? Okay, I think that's ready.
I think they're ready.
Yeah.
I hope so.
And upstairs.
So it's how many slides, study? I think the attendance is quite
Okay.
many.
So maybe for the participant from via Zoom, you can give your best smile to the camera.
So we're going to take pictures online for the online section participant. Please give your best smile to your camera. Okay, so it's finished already for the photo section. So Tari, tell me, so what's gonna be the next section?
So the next section is we would like to hand over to our moderator. She's one of the youngest lecturer in Faculty of Law, Janabadra University.
Wow. Let's give it up for Miss Murti Ayu SMH. Tari, I'm going to like reading the short CV from Miss Murti Ayu. She's finished her degree in Solo State University and finished her magister in Gajah Mada University. Hello, Miss Murti. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm great. How
You look
about
fantastic. Are you
Yeah.
ready?
I'm so ready for this.
Okay. So, Miss Murti, please do your job. Take your time.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Manado. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the respectable invited guests, and all of the honorable lecturers and researchers around the globe. and all of the honorable participants of this conference. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Murti Ayu Hapsari, that will be the moderator for today's keynote speaker panel session. And it is a pleasure to be able to welcome all of you in the first 2021 International Conference of Environmental Law, Applied Science and Technology, icoflast, with the major theme, Sustainable Conservation Movement to Protect Nature and Global Warming Mitigation. So today we already have 4 wonderful keynote speakers. One of them is already here present in the room. Please welcome Prof. Tommy Suryo Utomo, SH LLM PhD, to come to the stage. So apparently Prof. Tommy is already on the way. So maybe I'll start to the introduction first. I'm going to greet the other keynote speakers that already in the present in the Zoom. Let me greet them first. The first is Dr. Hanim Kamarudin, PhD from University Kebangsaan Malaysia. How are you today?
I'm good. Assalamualaikum, Dr. Murti Ayu. I'm good here, waiting to present my address this morning. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Okay. Okay, and the second one is the Associate Professor Dr. Bashar S. Muhammad. How are you today, Dr. Bashar?
Hi. Bismillah, salatu salam ala Rasulullah. First of all, I would like to thank icoflast organizing committee and the University Janabadra for having me in this forum. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And the third one is Dr. Ho Yi Chia, also from University Technology Petronas. How are you today, Doctor?
Yeah, thank you, Murti, for inviting an icoflast and the organizers. Glad to be here. Yeah. I wish everyone is well.
Okay, thank you. Now, without further ado, let me introduce our wonderful keynote speaker in this occasion. The first one will be Dr. Hanim Kamarudin, PhD from University Kebangsaan Malaysia, who is an expert in environmental law. She obtained her master degree at University of Wales and then completed her PhD degree in law of University of Malaya. And then her research focuses on the environmental law, on transboundary haze pollution and hectic plastic waste pollution in Malaysia. In 2021, she was the lead expert in the drafting and transboundary haze pollution bill commissioned by the Ministry of Environment and Water in Malaysia. And then our second speaker is Associate Professor Dr. Bashar S. Muhammad from University Technology of Petronas. He obtained master degree in structural engineering in USM and then obtained PhD degree in also in structural engineering in USM. His area of expertise are masonry structures, reinforced concrete structures, concrete technology, and structural material. Dr. Bashar has over 20 years professional structural engineering experience as academic, researchers, and engineers in various parts of the world. And then Dr. Bashar has published more than 120 scopus paper and also an awardee of National Book Award, Yayasan Pembangunan Buku Negara, Serba Dinamik 2018. And our third speaker is Dr. Ho Yi Chia from University Technology Petronas. She obtained Master of Science in Environmental Technology in USM and PhD also in Environmental Technology in USM. Her research interests are specialized areas covers water and wastewater treatment, air pollution and abatement, life cycle assessment, and statistical analysis. She's an awardee in many academic and research awards, recently being gold medalist in International Penang Innovation Invention Design in 2019, Malaysia Technology Expo in 2021. And then our fourth speaker is Prof. Tommy Suryo Utomo, SH LLM PhD from Universitas Janabadra. He obtained LLM degree in University of Melbourne, Australia, and completed a PhD in comparative law and Asian Law of University of Washington, USA. His research interests are special areas cover intellectual property rights, creative industry, international trade law, and comparative law. He also a visiting scholar in Fulbright Visiting Scholar Program in 2019, and also as a reviewer in many academic journals. He recently published 3 books in year 2020 that cover issues about business law, international trade law, and intellectual property rights. So let me welcome Prof. Tommy Suryo Utomo, SH LLM PhD, to come to the stage. Oh, you have to take off. So allow me to welcome the first speaker, Dr. Hanim Kamarudin, PhD, to deliver her presentation. That I must inform you, unfortunately, Dr. Kamarudin cannot attend Q&A session after the presentation because she have to attend another event right after. So before the presentation begin, let me inform you that how the presentation will be going, that the Q&A session will be after all of the keynote speakers deliver their presentation. Okay, Dr. Kamarudin, the time is yours.
Right, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants, honored academics, the Dean of the Faculty of Law, Janabadra University, Conference Chairman of icoflast and the Organizing Committee. Thank you very much for inviting me to be here at the International Conference on Environmental Law, Applied Sciences and Technology 2021. If it's possible, Dr. Murti Ayu, I would like to share my screen. Right, so this morning I've been given the task to address an issue pertaining to the environment and the overall ecosystem. And my area, which I'm researching right now, is actually on plastic waste in Malaysia, on how do we transcend the situation, the current situation, into something much more sustainable in terms of the legal aspect or the legislative reform that we are currently undergoing at the national level. So I'm absolutely confident that the main challenge, I think for not only in Malaysia, but for all of us, wherever we may be, either Indonesia, Taiwan, Iraq, and the rest of the world, is to reduce the use of plastic by searching for actual solutions, real solutions, to resolve not only in the domestic context, but also at the regional level, such as ASEAN. However, in this session, I shall share with you Malaysia's take on plastic waste and approaches to mitigate increase of plastic waste for a sustainable future. You will find that my focus in my address is through utilizing legal means to overcome problems posed by plastics, but one should not discard other equally important areas reflected in the themes of this conference, being applied sciences and technology that are equally useful in assisting us to resolve issues on plastic waste. So let me just begin by sharing with you some images that remind us on how imminent the threat of plastic pollution is, or plastic waste, that seem to be encroaching into our lives and the natural habitat, impacting mostly the marine mammals and also human health. So these images are an aspect as an example of a serious portrayal of the effect of plastic usage and disposal, which shows a devastating and sad picture of the state of our oceans. So this is just an example how plastics has become a problem for us all. And it is expected by 2050, the fish population will diminish due to surmounting plastic waste dumped into the ocean and contaminating the marine habitat. So this is what we should expect. And I think it's currently existing in the ecological surrounding in Malaysia and perhaps in Indonesia's area of the marine areas. And in accordance to a study carried out in Plymouth University in 2015, plastic pollution affects 700 different marine species. And there are other estimates that have suggested a death toll of at least 100 million marine animals annually due to plastic waste and plastic pollution. So using plastics over the decades, I think all of us are clearly users of plastic, have clearly proven to cause many adverse impacts on marine life that can be seen, such as animal carcasses lying along the beaches. And this is quite prevalent in the east coast of Malaysia, because we have beaches at that particular area. And we found through a study that, due to a lot of mismanaged disposal of plastic, has caused a lot of impact on the marine surroundings. So perhaps you have read or seen some, other images of such in some of the social medias. So this next slide only infers the grim reality of mismanaged plastic waste and disposal that can affect human health. Recent studies have shown that certain fish can actually mistake plastic for food, which leads to toxic chemicals accumulating inside fish liver. There's also a study that found microplastics are even present in deep sea organisms, suggesting that microplastics are affecting even the most remote species. There was a researcher at Columbia University known as Magadini had actually found plastic dyed with Nile red stain in a shrimp's gut, which he bought from a fish market. And mind you, this is only an example, one scenario. I'm sure there are many other scenarios whereby, there could be tiny pieces of plastics that are found in the marine and freshwater species, and they could end up on our dinner plates. So such scientists are also trying to determine what that means for human being, because evidence is showing the relationship between micro and nanoplastic exposure to toxicology and human health. In Malaysia, the threats from plastic pollution to the marine biota, for example, has escalated when nearly more than 3 million tons may have been washed into the oceans in Malaysia and contributing to potential health effects of single-use plastics on human and marine life. So if such condition persists, we may have to endure the very above proposition if we do not mind our waste. So we'll end up eating a lot of plastics at the end of the whole journey. Will be, we have plastics in our body, so that will harm us as well. So the impacts of plastic continue to experienced by us as long as we are in need of plastics in our daily use. So, all of us are consumers of plastics in one form or another, which only proves that plastic has become a material that provides enormous societal benefit. Every single day we'll be using plastics. Just catch yourself every single day. Let's see, how much plastic we actually use. Let me give you a current statistics which was published in 2018 on the production of annual global plastic production from 1950 to 2015 to actually fulfill our demand. So I'll take a look at the figure, and in less than 100 years, annual global plastic production increased from a mere 2 million tons in 1950 to more than 380 tons in 2015. So that is quite a significant jump. The global production currently exceeds 320 million tons per year, over 40% of which is used as single-use packaging, resulting in plastic waste, excessive plastic waste. So a substantial proportion of the plastic produced each year is lost to the marine environment. And this with and I think the increase in global plastic production will be somewhere along 250 million tons by 2025. So in other words, we are not yet prepared to give up this piece of human invention just yet. In Malaysia, as if the problem of plastic use causing pollution in our country is not already a prime concern, this issue of the detrimental aspects of plastic waste was actually escalated in 2018. It was highlighted in 2018 because there was a visibly marked increase of foreign plastic waste into Malaysia. There was an export or import of plastic waste into Malaysia, only perceived by many as turning Malaysia into a dump site. So why is plastics so important for us? I think it's quite obvious. Look at the left figure where it shows what plastic are commonly used for. And 40% of total plastic produced globally are for packaging purposes. And this is also the same in Malaysia. And because of this, it shows that the prevalence of using plastic as for wrapping things or products or packaging, and they're found actually as rubbish floating on the sea or dumped at landfills or ingested by marine animals. And sadly enough, Malaysia has become a global player in the plastic industry, with currently about 1,300 plastic manufacturers. And in 2018, Malaysia was rated as one of the worst countries for mismanaged waste pollution, plastic pollution. So that's quite a serious concern for Malaysians government, whether at the federal or state government. Next slide shows you that the issue of plastic waste or pollution in Malaysia derives from daily consumption. And more recently and quite significantly, plastic imports have become a serious issue as well. And in regards to the imports from other countries, you can find that the imports actually come from developed nations. And some study or some reports have also shown that some importers manage to bring in plastic waste into Malaysia without proper documentation. So this has become a real problem where they can actually falsify declaration forms and using a different commodity code. So they get away with it. And as you can see, United States, Japan, United Kingdom, Germany, Hong Kong, and Australia are those countries that have actually exported their plastic into Malaysia. And what more, with the China's announcement of their ban, plastic import ban in 2018, there's been an increase in the importation of plastic into Malaysia. So when it comes to waste generation in Malaysia, so we were talking about the the generation of, or rather the manufacture of plastic, the use of plastic, the increase of importation of plastic waste into Malaysia. And this has caused quite a concern in terms of waste generation. So waste generation in Malaysia has obviously increased throughout the years from 2012 to 2018. And this is because of our own dependency of on plastics and also imports from other countries. So this is quite shocking because, after many initiatives by SW Corp Malaysia, which is a governing body to manage matters when it comes to waste, the initiatives taken at the state level, the federal at the federal level, there is still a relatively large increase in daily waste generated per capita in 2018 as compared to the previous year. So this is quite shocking, and whether or not the increase in waste generation is going to be, be elevated in a few years. This is a concern to Malaysia. So with all those, with the increase of generation of plastic waste, based on our usage of waste and also the importation of waste from other countries, we turn back to this recycling activity, which is a useful tool to process waste plastic materials into new products. So the question is, how effective is this mechanism in other countries and as opposed to in Malaysia? The left figure shows that the total recycling rate in Malaysia is on the uptake, is on the increase yearly, but the rate is still quite low compared to other developed countries at 28%, where a recycling rate of 30% is targeted to be achieved by 2020 in Malaysia. So unless there is an increased awareness, increased initiative and steps or efforts or strategies or action plans to be taken by all relevant stakeholders around this issue of plastic waste and the importance of, the notion of reuse, reduce, recycling, it will be rather difficult to lessen waste and achieve a satisfactory recycling rate. So in that manner too, due to Malaysia's limited capabilities to recycle plastic, it is intuitive for us to reduce the consumption of plastic as consumers of plastic. Let me just move on to Malaysia's plastic issues, which in reality, well, this is not exhaustive, but are mainly centered around these areas, around these 5 issues. We're talking about plastic waste imports. Should we ban them? Should we continue to import to support countries' revenue and to encourage recycling businesses in Malaysia? So that is one serious consideration to take into account when it comes to plastic waste imports. Next is when it comes to discouraging single use of plastics by consumers, people like you and I, because we have a deep-rooted relationship with this plastic for decades. And to overcome this, perhaps we might have to stress on the use of education and awareness and on public participation and public policies when it comes to reducing the use of single-use plastic. So that's imperatively quite a consideration for, I think, not just for Malaysia, for many countries around the world to consider. Next is on the prohibition of microbeads during manufacturing processes. I think this is also a paramount concern because all of us actually use health and beauty products. And in the health and beauty products, you will find microbeads in soaps, in body scrubs that we use. And you will find that after you've scrubbed, let's say you put on your, your body scrub or and the body cream, and then you brush them off, you clean them off, and these tiny plastics actually go down the drain and finally into lakes and oceans. And I did mention to you earlier that the marine mammals will mistake it for food, and this will cause again a whole cycle of problems to not just the marine environment but to us. So in this regard, I think the role of manufacturers is crucial to replace microbeads with other kinds of eco-friendly alternatives, and that has a lot to do with the final recommendation or final issue. And obviously, when it comes to encouraging cycling, then again, this has a lot to do with the society at large, the way that the government at every level and also the involvement of private sector, how do we engage with each and every level of society in order for us to encourage recycling at every stage of plastic waste, at every stage of disposal of and usage of plastic. So this is actually some, not all, global strategies that I found. And as you can see, that the issue of plastics has never been left out of discussions at the international level among global leaders and advocates on reducing plastic. So in September 2019, at the UN Climate Change Summit, the issue on plastic has sparked debates on solving the problems associated with it. So various strategies you can find have been deployed by countries ranging from reducing the use of plastic by enforcing new laws, such as plastic bag laws, extended and promoting extended producer responsibility, advocating recycling activities amongst the all levels of society, imposing bans on plastic straws, stirrers, utensils, and cup that has, that uses plastic as one of its ingredients. And you will find all sorts of legislations from all over the world, in Africa, in the EU and South America, where, and also in India, if I'm not mistaken, where they actually, impose certain legislation or laws on reducing plastic waste or single-use plastic waste, single-use plastic. And these are some of the headlines from the US, from China, Japan, and the EU taking some steps to discourage the use of plastic by imposing a charge on plastics, or or bags, or plastic bags, or even a ban. And Indonesia has, I found, has also taking a very serious look at this question on plastic waste contributing to pollution, especially in the marine areas. And if I'm not mistaken, if I believe that Indonesia has many legislations on waste management, and also introducing presidential decree on marine debris, if I'm not mistaken. And you've come up with a regulation to ban completely single-use plastics, which I applaud. Which I applaud. In Malaysia, with the problems of plastic imports that gained attention in 2018, and also directed the attention to illegal recycling factories. With, we have also initiated some ban on plastic straws, not nationwide, but in various federal territories of Labuan, Kuala Lumpur, Putrajaya. And it is not a nationwide effort or initiative, but it depends on the state government as well, in order to impose a compulsory ban or enactment or piece of law to reduce the use of plastics. So in terms of Malaysia, limited measures on single-use plastic reduction efforts include straight bag and use of plastic drinking straws ban, and also bag fee at markets, and also trying to encourage recycling again. So legislation in Malaysia, if you have the time later on, you can actually take a look at Waste and Public Cleansing Management Act of 2007. Although it enhances waste management practices, but it fails to address the issue on reduction of single-use plastic to avoid waste. So in other words, in Malaysia, it is not a unified approach, and it depends on really the level of initiatives or efforts at the federal and state government. However, in trying to reduce plastic waste, in trying to discourage the use of single-use plastic, Malaysia has come up with Malaysia's roadmap towards zero single-use plastics in 2018. Now, this is a policy guideline with the aim of ensuring environmental sustainability and eliminating the use of single-use plastic by 2030, which centers on introducing biodegradable alternatives to plastic and reducing single-use plastics such as grocery bags and straws. So this roadmap is in the 4th year. A longer time horizon is needed to assess whether or not these plans are, well, when it comes to review existing laws, we're still in that phase, But more recently, the government has announced launching of the Malaysia's Plastic Sustainability Roadmap, which is yet to be revealed in detail. So as part of some of the recommendations from the legal aspect of reducing plastic use or single plastic usage in Malaysia, these are some of it, by imposing a fee or imposing a ban, come up with legislation which we don't have right now in Malaysia, as such in Indonesia, and probably shifting the cost of producing, or producing bags to the producers or the manufacturers of plastic. Again, encouraging alternative materials made from renewable resources, and the item F on enforcement really largely depends on training and capacity building when it comes to the enforcers of the law. I've always mentioned this, there is no point having so many laws, but you can't enforce them. And this needs a lot of training for the enforcement officers. And finally, obviously, this is, this is a no-brainer. I think we need education and awareness, not from, it should be from, kindergarten level, right up to tertiary university. I shouldn't stop there either. It should be continuous learning throughout, the times that we live. So it's not a question of business against academia right now, or business against NGOs or against the government, or NGOs against politicians. This sense of urgency to reduce plastic usage and to reduce plastic waste really relies on a concerted effort by us, all the relevant stakeholders. And these are some of the other ways which I feel that we need to push for. And I think in Indonesia, you already have a law on extended producer responsibility, which is, something that Malaysia should emulate. And I think it's already in the pipeline, hopefully. And improvement of municipal waste management, I think that it's, again, that should be carried out by the local or state level government. And disinfection of medical waste and PPE, I think this has a lot to do with what we're going through, with this COVID-19, that actually takes precedence in everything that we do these days. Everything that we do really depends on the pandemic. So if you remember, I think it's already nearly 2 years in March, that we rely heavily on food delivery services, But when when the food comes to us, it'll be packed in plastic bags, and this is a problem because it is causing a lot of excessive waste, plastic waste, and unfortunately, it doesn't correspond with the level of recycling. So this has become a problem. And disinfection of medical waste and PPE, of course, this is to reduce, basically is to recycle, reduce the manufacturing of plastic products. And encouragement of reusable grocery bags, I think this has been done in many, many, many countries, including Malaysia. And this again has to be stressed over and over again by the government that using grocery bags, you can reuse them, will in the long run reduce the use of plastic and also plastic waste. And finally, again, this is also utterly important when it comes to using new alternatives, the promotion of reusable alternatives. I think in a green economy or circular economy, it goes back to how can we reform plastics into something, instead of throwing it away and disposing it in unsustainable manner. I think this must be something that the, I suppose the sciences and technology can come up with some kind of alternatives to this. And I shall end there, Dr. Murty Ayu, with my 2 cents worth on this. Eradicating plastic waste will no doubt rely on us, our initiative and creativity, and addressing this issue from the aspect of governance, policy, laws, social demands and supply, technology, capacity building, education and awareness, to say the least, because we are at the center of this, on this particular issue, plastic usage and waste. And the outcome of reducing such really lies with our everyday choices. So that's it, Dr. Murty Ayu. Thank you very much for all the kind attention from all participants. And back to you, Dr. Murty Ayu.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Dr. Hanim Kamarudin. So unfortunately, you have something to attend to after this. Okay. First of all, thank you for the insight and the information. I hope you
Thank
luck for
you.
your next business. I hope we
Yes.
can meet again in some other
Right.
time.
Thank you very much once again, Dr. Muti Ayu, and to all the deans, Dean of Dean of Fakultas Hukum, Janabadra University, to the conference chairman, and to the organizing committee for inviting me to this, to address your first icoflast of 2021. And I hope the best for the rest of the session, and enjoy the session to all the participants and distinguished delegates. Thank you very much. Take care. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So the next second speaker is Associate Professor Dr. Basir S. Muhammad. The time is yours to begin the presentation. Hello, Dr. Basir.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Murthy. So I'll try to share my slides. Can you see my slides?
Yeah, clearly.
Okay. So, Bismillah, salawat, salam ala Rasulullah, assalamu alaikum, and very good morning to all. I am Bashar S. Muhammad from Civil and Environmental Engineering Department, University Technology Petronas. First of all, again, I would like to thank the organizing committee of icoflast for inviting me to share my experience with the Kramraba. My title for my presentation is the Trends and the Practical Application in Recent Academic Research on Concrete Containing Kramraba. Is not far away from what the first presenter, Dr. Hanif, talked about the waste plastic. I will try to cover all the slides within 20 minutes, the time allocated for me. So now it's about 11:40 in Malaysia time. So it's about 12 o'clock. I will finish with my presentation, which is about 20 minutes. So this is just I give you an idea. By the way, can you hear my voice? Any problem with my voice?
Absolutely, clearly.
Okay, thank you very much. So this is just to share with all the audience. This is from Scopus. Currently for the research paper with the keywords of Kramraba, we have about 2,800 papers. And this paper is a lot. It shows that the trend is increasing from 2012 up to 2021. So every year there are so many researchers try to utilize the Kramraba into the concrete or into any construction building materials. And we will know later why the trend is on increasing, and there are so many researchers around the world engaging in this kind of research work to produce a viable construction building materials utilizing the Kramraba. So the Kramraba usually is coming from the tire. The tire, of course, the car tire. The car tire, usually the rubber inside is about 83%, and 5% textile, 12% is a steel cord. So according to Ohio Administrative Code, defines a scrap tire as a type of solid waste and includes any unwanted or discarded tire, regardless of size, that has been removed from its original use. So whatever tire, once they finish the lifetime of the tire and remove from the car, is considered as a scrap tire. There is no, if we are using it, recycle it in the tire, we still call it a scrap tire. So these types of the scrap tire, we have a passenger car tire, we have truck tires, and we have off-the-road tires. So there are so many environmental problems associated with the scrap tires. such as tires are bulky, and 75% of the space a tire occupies is void, so that the landfilling of scrap tire has several difficulties, because scrap tire require a large space when the whole tires are landfilling. So the other one, non-biodegradable material. So the scrap tire, if you throw it to the landfill, so it will stay there for so many years, because they are non-biodegradable material. In fact, they are, even if there is some kind of chemical process, but this one, it will take like years, 100 years, whatever. It's just using some of the oil and toxic material to the soil. And when they caught in fire, it's quite difficult to put the fire off and to distinguish the fire. So usually when we put them, stockpiling them in the landfill without a proper treatment, so if accidentally caught by fire, so it will be causing a serious environmental problem, because they are releasing a huge smoke. Improperly discarded tires are ideal breeding grounds for disease-carrying mosquitoes and rodents because of the concave shape of this scrap tire. So this one provides an ideal ground for breeding of mosquitoes and other rodents. So in Malaysia, waste tires are disposed in many ways, both legally and illegally, through either the physical reuse, open burning, landfill, illegal dumping or stockpiling, and low-cost supplementary fuel. So this is physical reuse as erosion control, which lead to an environmental impact, because the leaching of the organic chemicals material from these tires penetrated through the soil and maybe is reaching up to the groundwater and lead to the contamination of the waterway at the end. This is one of the landfill, caught by fire, and then you see the amount of the CO2 released to the environment. In some cases, when caught by fire, it's took about 3 days to put off the fire. So it's another problem. So lead to the fire hazard, long-term settlement, and may cause problem for future use and reclamation, leaching organic chemicals, and so on. So this is another landfill where the tire caught in fire. This is from landfill around the Kuala Lumpur. This is another landfill. It's also from the Malaysia. See how this kind of tire, when we throw it into the landfill just like that, it becomes a good breeding area for the mosquitoes, rodents, and other insects. This is another picture from the landfill. So there are so many problems, as you say, like aesthetic problem, breeding ground for mosquitoes and other rodents, leaching organic chemicals. This is a very important, because they leach some organic chemicals which can percolate through the soil and reach to the groundwater, then at the end contaminate the waterways, cause fire hazard, cause risk of cancer. This is another way of illegally dumping through the tires to the landfill or surrounding areas. This is also, these are still considered as scrap tires, even though they are used for retraining or so on. This is another picture showing the how we dump the scrap tires. Okay, this is cutting from a study on scrap tires management for Peninsular Malaysia, the final report. It mentioned here that the cement industry uses scrap tires as a low-cost supplementary fuel due to their high calorific value. So if you're using this kind of the tire, we burn them to get their energy. Especially in the cement industry, because in the kiln we need to temperature up to 1,200 centigrade. So in order to save the money, whatever, so the cement producer using this tire burn them to get the energy. But this one at the end, in one way or another, release a huge amount of CO2 to the environment. And I think this is against the rule now, especially after being, for Malaysia being the Kyoto Protocol signatory, where we promised to reduce the emission of CO2 by 40%. So again, what is the solution? So the best solution is to reduce these scrap tires to small particles, we call it crumb rubber, and then we use them in the concrete. Why the concrete? Because the annual global production of concrete is about 3,820 billion cubic meter, second to water consumption per capita. So if we can successfully utilize and we convince the engineers to use the concrete containing crumb rubber, so it will be like a kind of win-win situation for the environment and also for the construction industry. We are going to touch on that. Why when we add the crumb rubber to the concrete, that's why we are improving the concrete properties of the concrete. It's not only we try to find a way to use or recycle the scrap tire. No, it's also on the other side, we are improving the properties of the concrete. So this is the way how we are producing the crumb rubber. Is a simple facilities everywhere available. So it's just a few processes, shredding process, they shred the tire, then primary granulation process, then go to the secondary process. In the primary granulation process, we reduce the tire to small chips. Then after that, go to the secondary granulation process, where we produce the crumb rubber. By the way, the crumb rubber, the size is compatible to the fine aggregate. So we can use it as a replacement to the fine aggregate, and also we can save the fine aggregate. Then at the end, we remove all the steel wire from the crumb rubber, then we produce it, the crumb rubber. So the first crumb rubber Portland cement concrete actually has been registered by Dr. Hans Zhu, Associate Prof from Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering in Arizona State University, 1994. So I can say from my research and from my knowledge, he is the first person to use the crumb rubber as a partial replacement to fine aggregate to produce the concrete containing crumb rubber to solve the problem of the scrap tires in Arizona State, where they give him the grant to try to find a viable solution for the scrap tire problem. So if we add this crumb rubber to the concrete as a partial replacement to the fine aggregate, actually we are going to have a new type of concrete. We call it, I call it rubbercrete. So this rubbercrete, in comparison to the conventional concrete, is lighter in weight, high air content, ductile, more ductile. So it's a very good to be used in the area prone to earthquakes and vibration, improve the slumps, that's mean the workability of the concrete, improved impact resistance. So it can, because this kind of crumb rubbers, they are acting like a tiny springs inside the concrete, so they can absorb the impact energy, better sound absorption with high noise reduction. So it's a very good, the products made of this rubbercrete is a very good to be used in schools and hospitals, hotels, to replace the soundproof material, which is a very expensive material. So if you can use this rubbercrete materials, which is a very cheap, it will be a very good alternative to use this very expensive material. Soundproof, better electricity resistivity. due to the presence of the crumb rubber. So, but there is one problem. When we add the crumb rubber to the concrete, actually what will happen? The rubber itself is a hydrophobic material. Hydrophobic material meaning repel water and entrap air on its surface. So when they entrap air on its surface, then we mix it with the concrete. There, the area between the cement matrix and the crumb rubber, we call it ITZ or interfacial transition zone. So this area, it will be thick due to the air trapped on the surface of the crumb rubber. And this will lead to the reduction, all the strength of this rubbercrete. So if you compare to the conventional concrete, this rubbercrete has a lower compressive strength, flexural, tensile, and all the mechanical strength. So this is the problem where, because of this problem, most of the engineers reluctant to use on wide range the products made of the rubbercrete in the construction building industry. So what is the solution? Here is our solution. First of all, we look at the products made of the rubbercrete. There are two types of the product. The first type of the product is we are using the compressive strength is not the major factor. We are looking at the physical properties such as the soundproof, lower thermal conductivity. I didn't mention the lower thermal conductivity, which is very important to save the energy. And lighter in weight. Lighter in weight is a very important. It's compared to the conventional concrete, because lighter in weight, meaning at the end, reduce all the self-weight of the building, and at the end reduce the capacity of the footing. At the end, we are going to save plenty of money, because all of us as engineers, structural engineers or civil engineers, we know that 40% of the cost of the building buried with the footing. So if we are reducing the size of the footing, we are going to save plenty of money. And for the first contribution we done here, we produced the method of the design of this rubbercrete, because rubbercrete is not like conventional concrete. It's a new product, and we need to develop the mixed design for it. So we develop a mixed design. We call it reduction factors. In everything, we produce all the formulas so we can use to produce this type of the concrete from the for the desired fresh properties or the engineering properties such as the compressive strength, flexural, tensile, and so on, with the three targeted slumps or workability from lower, medium, and higher. And this one to show that the crumb rubber usually size-wise is comparable to the fine aggregate. That's why we can use it as a partial replacement to the fine aggregate. So we have done all this kind of the method. We developed the method on how to design the rubbercrete. And then we also develop all the method to test non-destructive tests, to establish the non-destructive test for the rubbercrete using the rebound hammer pound and also the ultra pulse velocity. And also we look at the failure mode and the modulus elasticity of the concrete containing. You see that this is a very important and is very good for area prone to earthquake, because you see there is no crumb rubber inside, meaning zero crumb rubber inside the failure mode is explosive and is a very shattered, the sample shattered. But we see when we add the crumb rubber inside from 10%, reach up to 30%, you see the 30%, even after the failure, the sample is still intact. And this is a very good one. That means can absorb the energy, and it's a tactile material. It's not like the conventional concrete, which is a very brittle material. Also, these are the modulus elasticity formula, and we showed this one. I showed this one to tell that if you are using the method to design the normal the normal concrete in designing the rubbercrete, definitely we are not gonna to reach to the desired results, because the way how the rubbercrete behave is totally different from normal concrete. And even we tested the under elevated temperature, because there is always a concern, because this is crumb rubber inside the concrete. So in case of the fire, how this rubbercrete will behave and whether it will be safe or not. Is it very safe? The amount of the this one we tested up to 1,200 centigrade. Yes, it's true that the compressive strength reduced just like other material, but the amount of the smoke reduced is still within the limit, and still is safe to be used in the building, even from the fire safety corner. And then we look at this is a very important product. We have developed it, and I think now so many countries in the world, they are following us, and also they are doing this kind of bricks, such as India, Canada, Spain. So we published this research in 2012 when I was associated with Ryerson University in Canada. So this kind of brick we develop it, as I say. When we look at this brick, the compressive strength is not everything, because usually we call this kind of a brick, or any brick, we call it load bearing brick when the compressive strength only 10 megapascal and above. So it's not like structural concrete, we need at least 25 megapascal. No, it's from 10 megapascal above is a very suitable to be used in the structure. So we develop this and we break and we test all the acoustic properties and thermal properties, electrical properties, and it's all passed. It's a very nice one. It's also lighter in weight. You can replace the conventional concrete. I passed this some of the results here, and I show another interlocking brick. Interlocking brick, we use the semi-automatic interlocking brick machine. It's a very cheap one. The capacity can produce around 600 pieces per hour. Very good for the small to medium size of industry. So we produce this Lego-like bricks. And we definitely, this brick is a rubbercrete brick. It's not normal brick. And using the dry mix meaning the amount of the water is just 10% of the ingredients of the concrete mix, the dry mix. So under the pressure, we can develop this one. That means we just leave it under the pressure for around a few seconds, 3 seconds, then we get the shape of this brick. So no need to leave it in the environment for 24 hours for curing. No, it's only a few seconds, then we put it aside for curing, we leave it in the environment. So we have done all the tests here for this kind of a brick, and it's now ready to be used in any buildings. I hope if in Indonesia, any company willing to use, it's okay, they can contact me and I will assess them. And also, even we did a geopolymer interlocking rubbercrete. Geopolymer, there is no cement inside. It's only some of the source material, a chemical material, and raw material is NaO. Anyway, I'm not going to touch on the geopolymer concrete, but it's not cement. It's a chemical material. We put it together. It's replaced the cement. So here we use the 100% crumb rubber. There is no sand inside, and also the brick was very good. So even we can avoid using the cement, and we replace it with some chemicals to what we call a geopolymer. And in this research paper, we develop all the models on how to design the self-compacting hybrid fiber reinforced rubberized cementitious composite. And this is a very good material with a compressive strength is very good. It's very high. It's more than 80 megapascals. So if you are looking for some of the concrete that can take the compressive strength, high compressive strength, this one. And this one is also, we look at the structural behavior and the MK value for composite slab utilizing concrete containing crumb rubber. This one is very important because usually the normal concrete is a very rigid material. We call it a brittle. So when you use it in the composite slab, so that there is no compatibility. There is engineering principles. We call it compatibility is very important. The topic concrete is very rigid. The steel sheeting is very ductile. So within a very low load, there will be separation between the steel sheeting and the topping concrete. That's why we cannot utilize the full capacity, the full load capacity of this composite slab. But when we replace the topping concrete with the rubbericrete is a very ductile material, and the steel sheeting is a ductile material. So we managed to increase the loading capacity of this composite slab. And also, we develop a very high strength concrete. I think we are the first team in the world. We did that. We utilized the nanosilica to modify the rubbericrete. So you remember the talk about the interfacial transition zone between the cement matrix, hardened cement matrix, and the concrete. We use the nanosilica to crush this ITZ and then definitely increase dramatically the compressive strength. I'm not gonna. So this is the interfacial transition zone. Before you see this is the gap between the crumb rubber and the cement. So after we use the what you call it, the nanosilica, we managed to crush this ITZ, and also we have used it in the ruler compacted concrete for the highway, because the ruler compacted concrete, there is a problem if for the conventional one, there will be crack after sometimes from being in operation, then it will cause all the corrosion problem and even damage the subway. Subbase area. So after we use this rubbericrete, the rubbericrete as a compacted, self-compacted or ruler compacted concrete, we don't have this kind of cracks. So we talk about sustainable ruler compacted concrete. So you see here how is in this one, how is the nanosilica crush or diminish the ITZ between the cement hardened base and the crumb rubber. And this is one of the book I published on this rubbericrete interlocking brick, where all the methods how to produce this brick and the structural performance of the bricks, and also the design methods available in this book. If you like to have a look at it, please contact me. Thank you very much. Thank you. I hope I didn't extend the time. Now is it was 5 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your informative information. The next I would like next to our speakers, dari Dr. Hoye Chia from University Technology Petronas to give a presentation. The time is yours, Dr. Chia.
Yep, thank you very much. Yeah, good morning to moderators, Dr. Murthy, and then chairmen, deans from icoflast, and also Universitas Janabadra. And good afternoon to maybe for Malaysian and fellow participants. Yeah, let me share my screen. Can you hear my voice clearly? Just to check. Can you hear my voice, Murthy? Just to check.
Yes.
Can you hear my voice?
Facing difficulties in sharing screen. The technical team already made you a co-host, so you should be able to share your screen now.
Yep. I still cannot share the screen. Am I a co-host now?
Okay.
I still cannot share the screen. Yeah.
Do you still having some technical issues, Doctor?
Yeah, I'm trying to share the screen, but I think I can. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay, done. Yeah. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Wait a second. Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
Presentation.
So yeah. Yes, sorry for that just now. Yeah. Okay, so today, yeah, let me start now. Thank you for your invitation to icoflast and everyone's in Indonesia, organizer, MC, moderators, and yeah, good afternoon and good day to all the participants. Okay, today I'm going to actually talk about something about environmental engineering, which is the potential of natural coagulant in water treatment. So just now, I think Dr. Moti also mentioned that my expertise is actually in water and also wastewater treatment. So particularly today, I would like to share with you on the natural coagulant in water treatment. Okay, so the outline is I will talk about some profiles and background on this area. Okay, it may be related to the previous section like environmental studies by Dr. Hanim, plastics, and also rubber crumb by Dr. Basha. So yeah, so this is about the polymers that are maybe chemicals, bio-based chemicals, natural environmental chemicals that use in water treatment plant. So there is 100% natural base, and also I will provide some future outlook. Okay, so as a profile, just to share with you where are we. So I'm from University Technology Petronas, and I think Dr. Basha as well. So this is Peninsula Malaysia. So we are here. So to zoom down, we are somewhere near here. Okay, we are between the Ipoh and Kampar perhaps. Okay, so welcome to UTP and Malaysia in future. Okay, you can always contact us. Okay, so as for me, okay, you can call me YC. So yeah, I'm currently the faculty member in Civil and Environmental Engineering departments in UTP. Okay, so yeah, today I would like to share with you what is the solution we have, okay, for the hazardous waste problem that we have in our water treatment sector. Okay, so this project also maybe participate in Royal Academy of Engineering, our MIC in Malaysia, the government, and under some Newton Unku Umar Fund. Okay, so I also get the support from the Oxensia consultant. So all in all, we are going to meet the SDG 6 for the safer water to all. Okay. So just a background that I think all of you may know that we only have around 3% of fresh water. So, but then we have a overpopulation concern and also freshwater issue, drought season. So the drinkable water or maybe safe water for drinking purpose may be reducing day by day. So we are now trying to figure out how to provide clean water to all. Okay, so discarded all the factors for the pollution aspects. Okay, so typically this is the water treatment process, the simplest form. Okay, so we have untreated water or maybe some water that is not is from the reservoir, rivers, or whatever intake like lake. Okay, maybe at your area we have dam, all this. So we have gone through the water treatment plant process. Here, this is the essential process where we call it coagulation and population process. After we add in chemical processes, okay, so the dirty parts of the water will be settled down. So what we get is the clean water. Okay, so we want to eliminate all the dirty stuff here, right? So what is the chemical that we use? Okay, now usually, so we are using alum. Okay, so what we want to try is to insert one chemicals that is natural base so that it can function the same. Okay, what we do not want is all these dirty products that's going to the landfill. It's not supposedly to be a sanitary landfill. This is normal landfill. But if it is together with some other elements, it must go to the secure landfill, which we call it landfill for hazardous waste. Okay, so currently what we are using is alum. So alum, when they gone through this simple process, so it will produce hazardous solid waste. Okay, in Malaysia we have our Environmental Quality Act. Okay, it is scheduled under the schedule waste of 204, which we have to send for landfill. So this is what we want to avoid. It will cause first the cost to the auto operators, and second for the environmental problem. Okay, so we are trying to provide this green solution, which I'm pushing out the landfill products. Okay, so these are the Environmental Quality Act, just to share with you. Okay, so SW204 is actually a metal hydroxide sludge. Okay, we do not want this, so we want to replace it. Okay, replace a natural base so that we have a clean water access and also safer for water operators operations. Okay, so we have a few selections of natural coagulant actually in worldwide. Okay, you can Google through. We have plant-based, we have animal-based, we have also micro-based. So for my case, I'm choosing plant-based. Okay, so but what is plant-based? So if you may know, okay, just some fruits or maybe plants that is near to you. Okay, like cassava peel. This is cassava, this is cactus, okay, this is boredom, this is moringa, and you have okra as well. So then some fruits, okay, maybe pitaya, these dragon fruits will be looks more familiar with you. These are the fruits in Malaysia. Okay, in Ipoh we have a lot of fruit like this. So and these are the anana fruits that they said that is good for cancerous. Okay, so all this maybe not maybe is a source for the natural coagulant. Okay, so it's not limited to this. There are so plenty of them. Just would like to share with you some, and these are all my projects. Okay, just to share with you, and there are others project as well that is ongoing. So you can look through some journals to understand better. Okay, what we do here is we extract. Okay, so all these are beneficial fruits, right? So people consume the fruits. Okay, people consume the fruits, and what is left is the seeds. All these what is left is the peel. So I'm collecting them back. Okay, so and then I've gone through some simple process to extract the natural coagulant from there. So whatever I take is from the waste product, okay, and then I turn it to something useful in water treatment, and it is environmental friendly. Okay, so this simple process, okay, that how I get this polymer. So polymers here refers to natural coagulant. Okay, natural coagulant is part of the bio polymer. Okay, so this is the dried forms. Just to share with you, I just take it from the waste product, okay, grind it, and then gone through a very simple water heating extraction process. Okay, so then after that, what I got is the natural coagulant. Therefore, I can dissolve in water and then gone through the water treatment process to reduce the turbidity in water. Okay, so this is another samples. Okay, so they are gummy type like this. Okay, all these are biopolymer, which is the natural coagulant that we can use in water treatment. So after it's dried, okay, it looks like this. Okay. Yeah, we only need a little bit of concentration to dose in water treatment, and it gets very good efficiency. Okay, so yeah, so our aim is to have utilization of the peel waste, because we have lots of fruit waste in Malaysia. In Malaysia, fruit waste, apart from this plastic waste, okay, the food waste is the highest in Malaysia. Okay, so we have a lot of fruits as well in Malaysia. So all these can be a source for natural coagulant, because the essential thing is they are safe, okay, and they are biodegradable. Okay, they actually showed very good efficiency, and they have a denser flux. Okay, this is essential because it will measures the efficiency of the coagulation process. Okay, we want this to be condensed and also compact. So, okay, so this is my product that I filed for trademark. And this initiative is to use again the waste product. So the waste product is generated from the manufacturing is around like 10 to 25%. Okay, so what we get from here is to as a soft or raw materials, okay, for our plant-based coagulant. Okay, so I have done some characterization study. Okay, most importantly, we want to know the functional group. This is very important because all these essential group will help in the coagulation and flocculation process that I mentioned just now, right? So we have to make sure that it's present. Therefore, it will help in the binding mechanism. Okay, after it's bind well, then it can form a very dense flux. Okay, and we also want to check their thermal behavior. So this experiment is actually run until 800, but it is start to decompose around 300. Okay, it shows that these are polymer. Okay, so they are biodegradable. I mean, in some time, and only two essential pick. One is in water. You can finish decompose within not decompose degraded within 100 degrees, and another one is just double bond carbon. Okay, that can be degraded around not more than 300. So this studies is not too this is quite keen to our environment. So we also check on the charge density. This is very important because positive charge coagulant will lead to good destabilization process. Okay, so that is a very good mark on positive charge of 15. Okay, we also evaluate on the pH when we want to test in the water treatment. Okay, so it shows that in acidic region, in neutral region, in alkaline region, it works excellent. Okay, so it is not influenced by the pH, which is makes it a very powerful product. Okay, sometimes the products can work well within 5 to 8. Okay, like alum 5 to 8, ferric chloride like 3 to 8, something like this. Okay, but it works well across the pH range. Okay, so this is how we check the denser flux or not. So this is the under microscope when we want to look into their properties. So this is the original products. So and then this is another enhanced product, and this is the alum, okay, that works in the environment. So it captures a lot of water here, makes it not too easy to settle. Okay, so if it is not captured too much water, so it is heavier and it can settle. Okay, so this is also we check on the volume that sludge produce. Alum will be having the highest. Reason being is they are producing the hydroxide. Okay, so we are not producing the hydroxide, we are just binding them together. So that is the principles behind why alum has a higher sludge, and it will cause a lot of cost and also problem to the water operators. Okay, so if we have less sludge, so it will be more keen to environment and also water operators. So at the simplest summary on the efficiency that these products is that it can cross works in all the pH region, and it is actually 2 times more effective, okay, due to the polymer change and also the functional groups, okay, and also the molecular weight. Okay, so and it can reduce 40% of the sludge produced. This is very essential. Okay, and also it can settle fast. In a normal water treatment, maybe it needs around 20 minutes, okay, best, or maybe 30 minutes. For us, it settles within 1 minute. It's very fast. Okay, so and we are using the how to say waste products. Okay, so this makes the works good. Now we are currently going for the higher scale production. Okay, I've got the prototype, okay, already run, so we are ready for large scale production now. Okay, so these are just comparison on the competitive of our work. So if you want to compare with the Moringa seed, like previously I showed you the pictures. Okay, so there are different types of aspects to look into. So for the raw material, we are using the waste material. For the extraction, we are just using microwave or water. But they are using chemicals, okay, or high-tech equipment, okay, and we can work in all pH range, and the settling time is very fast. Okay, and the dosage we use is very minimal, okay, but they are using others a lot of chemicals that is required too. Okay, we only use water, or microwave we just use electricity. Okay, and there are others extraction doses that they need to use. So and we can work in normal temperature, but they are preferable in 20 degrees Celsius. So we does not require any other chemicals, but they need other like PAC or maybe alum to help them to make the water to be treated well. Okay. So these are the competition just to show you our efficiency and the cost. Okay, because these two are the essential things. So I have summarized these commercial products. Okay, they are quite good in their efficiency as well. Okay, these are the costs. Actually, alum is very cheap. So therefore, it is used in most of the water treatment plant. Okay, but it causes some concern. Okay, we are also concerned on the residue in water itself. It's not only to the sludge. Okay, so proposing things that is natural based, I think that would be helpful to our water operators and also environment as a whole. Okay, so as a future outlook, okay, just to share with you what we have in the natural coagulant aspects. So as I mentioned just now earlier, this project also be participated together with the Royal Academy of Engineering, right? So they have, with the help of Accenture consultant, they are coming out with good statistics on this, that actually this has a very good market size, that maybe in future if you have intention to work in flocculant or coagulant, so these are the field that you may look into the application. So ours is like normal application. It can be used in pulp and paper industry. And I'm sure that in Indonesia, textile industry are good. Okay, you also have an oil and gas industry, right? So all these coagulant can be utilized in all these water and wastewater treatment plant. Okay. And these are the just to show in globally how much the market size. Okay, so as in North America, the market size is the biggest. Okay, so we are here at Indonesia. Okay, so it is in the increasing trend. So investing in this sector may brings you higher HI. So these are the some summarization on the benefit. Okay, I've calculated the cost actually because I'm working with the industry. I signed an MOU, NDA, and LI with them. So I calculate actually if they are using our products, so actually they save up to 40% of their material cost only per month. Okay, so and it is actually environmental safe. Okay, and we can also create a job and for others because we are now running a mass production, perhaps. Okay, so we are going to creating jobs. Okay, creating jobs for people, especially now during post-COVID condition, right? So, and it is also fit to the green chemistry principles. Okay, just now I saw Dr. Hanim also mentioned about green chemistry or green economy. Okay, so these are all the green stuff that we are looking now. Okay, and for our contribution, this is just to highlight that it is new invention that is like from UTP. Okay, and we are also contributing to the concern on the schedule waste, which is the hazardous waste, and also to the water operators and also the SD sustainable goal. Okay, so other application for natural coagulant. Okay, we have tried. Okay, it is effective in microalgae harvesting. So microalgae is very important now because it is a source of renewable energy. So they culture the microalgae in column like this. Okay, so but then when they want to collect it, so they will add the coagulant in, okay, the natural coagulant in, so that it can settle. Okay, as you can see here, these are working in our lab in a very small scale. So this is an the unsettled algae, and this is settled, very clean water. So you can separate between the algae and water. Algae will send to renewable as a feedstock for renewable energy. Okay, or maybe food. Okay, now they are having the algae as a superfood intake. Okay, and we also try on the agricultural wastewater because eventually all this wastewater water from the agricultural land will go to surface water, which is river. So it is essential to be treated first before they pollute our waterways, right? So we have tested because the stability is very high. So this product also effectively work in this area. So these are maybe two other areas that natural coagulant can be adopted. Okay, and because these microalgae can work in these are cultured in a large scale, and maybe it's not feasible if you are using aluminum sulfate only. So natural coagulant may be more feasible for the environmental aspects. Okay, so and yeah, it is used extensively and it is not good, even though people are using now. So yeah, that's about my sharing with you on the possibility of natural coagulant to the water treatment plant and also their future outlook of the direction. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Chia, for the informative and new insight for us about how to protect environmental and provide clean water to human health. And the last keynote speaker will be Prof. Tommy Suryo Utomo, SH LLM PhD. For Prof. Tommy, the time is yours. I'm sorry for the technical team. Can you share the screen from Prof. Tommy?
Thank you very much. I think this is an honor for me to be here as one of the keynote speakers in this international seminar. So because my specialization or my research interest is in international trade law, business law, and also intellectual property, I think it's better for me to use that specialty in this topic and try to connect or link between trade and environment, especially from the perspective of WTO law and policy. So I already prepared several slides for this keynote speech, and I hope everyone can follow the substance of this international seminar. Right, so before I explain a little bit about the introductions to the international trade law and the link between the trade and the environment, I would like a little bit to explain about the history of the World Trade Organization. Next. I think it takes time.
Next slide, Arya.
Next slide. All right, so the history of the WTO, I think it takes time because before we establish the World Trade Organization in 1994, actually we already planned to establish the International Trade Organization in 1947. But the plan actually was failed because the United States as the country actually to initiate the establishment of the ITO, International Trade Organization, actually cannot ratify that one. So then other countries, especially in Europe, they also followed not to ratify the Havana Charter in 1947. So for the rest, actually, the issue of the international trade and also the practice of the international trade in international level actually was replaced by the GATT or the General Agreement on Trade and Tariff of 1947. And then almost for 50 years, that all issues in international trade were regulated by the General Agreement on Trade and Tariff of 1947. Until at the end of the Uruguay round, we succeeded, the international community succeeded in establishing the World Trade Organizations in 1994, and then it came into force actually on 1st January of 1995. Right, if you look at the origins of the WTO, actually, besides we have, for example, the GATT of 1947, we also witnessed that the GATT has held 9 negotiations. This is start from the Geneva Tariff Conventions in 1947 until the Uruguay round, and then we established the World Trade Organizations in 1994, and then after the establishment of the WTO in 1994, and we have another trade agenda. We call that Doha Development Agenda. Next. So if you look at the agreements in the WTO, there are 2 categories of the agreements in the WTO. The first one, we call this the multilateral agreement, and the second one is plurilateral agreement. So actually, if you look at the differences between these two, between the multilateral and also plurilateral agreements, we can see actually the differences is only about the number of the WTO countries to participate or to ratify the agreements. For multilateral, actually, we can see this one in the Annex 1, 2, and 3, and then the last one, actually, the plurilateral, we can see this is categorized as the plurilateral agreement. Next. Next, please. Right, this is the details of the agreement in the WTO. So I think this is a good background for us to follow the next slides, because if you look at the agreements, actually, it's very, very complicated. You know, it's very, very multi-sectoral and multifaceted. If you look at the Annex 1, for example, this is the multilateral agreement on trade in goods, and we call this one is the GATT. And there are several agreements actually that can be classified as the, you know, the multilateral agreements in the goods. For example, the GATT itself, and then agreement on agriculture, and also the last one, the agreement of safeguards. And then for the Annex 1B, actually, this is very important as well, because this is general agreement on trade in services, or GATS. And then for the 1C, we call this one the agreement on trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights, or we call this one as TRIPS. And we can see this, the Annex 2, actually, this is the DSU. DSU actually is the law or procedure law actually concerning the procedures to manage and maybe to settle the case amongst the member of the WTO. And then we can also the Annex 3 trade policy review mechanism. Actually, this is the mechanism that already provided by the WTO to review the regulations in all members of the WTO to see whether the members actually already comply with the WTO agreements, or we call this the covered agreements. And the last one actually is the plurilateral trade agreements, which is only selected countries that participate or ratified the agreements. And we can see 2 of 4. The first one actually is about the trade civil aircraft, and the last one actually is dealing with the procurement or government procurement. So why is only 2? Because the other 2 actually, which is the bovine meat, and also the second one is dairy products, already not in force because it's already ended, especially in 1997. Right. So the question is why we have to talk about the issue, I mean, between, or the link between the trade and the environment. The issue is because this is not a new issue. Actually, if we look at the history of the WTO, the issue where the members actually discuss about the trade-related environmental issues is already discussed actually in the previous rounds. Next. Yeah, this is just basic rules of WTO law and policy. There are 4 big groups actually when we are talking about the basic rules of WTO and WTO law and policy. The first one, we are discussing about the non-discriminations. There are 2 types of the non-discriminations. The first one is most favored nation, and the second one is national treatment. And then the second one, if we are talking about the basic rules, WTO law and policy, we are also discussing about the market access. There are 2 types of the market access. The first one actually is tariff barriers, and the second one is non-tariff barriers. And then the third one is the protections against unfair trade. In unfair trade, there are 2 groups actually. The first one we call it dumping, and the second one is subsidy. And then the last one is we are talking about the trade and competing interests and values. So if there is a conflict between the national or the domestic regulations or maybe interests with the law and policy of the WTO, the national or domestic laws will prevail. So that's the rules when we are talking about the WTO law and policy. Next. So if we are talking once again about the link between trade and negotiation, there is no specific agreement in the WTO actually discussing about the environment. So the question is why we are discussing about the link itself, because even though there is no specific agreement in the WTO, but the issue of trade and environment actually can be found in the WTO agreement, but indirectly. For example, from the fundamental goals of the WTO, we can see two types of it. Next. Yes, if we look at, the WTO, actually there are two fundamental goals. The first one, we call that sustainable development. So even though there is no specific agreements about the environment, there is no title about the trade and agreement on the WTO agreements. We can see the spirit of the sustainable development vision in all, or maybe in certain or selected agreements that we can see in the framework of the WTO. The second one, we can see also the principles of the protections of the environment, also the preservations of the environment through several or certain agreements in the WTO. Next. In general, actually, if we are discussing about the link between trade and environment, there are two types that we have to focus on. The first one actually is about the impact of the environmental policies on trade. And the second one is the impact of trade itself on the environment. So this is the link. Once again, even though there is no specific agreement on environmental issues, but we can find the theme of the two indicators of the link between trade and environment. The first one is the impact of the environment policies on trade, and the second one is the impact of trade on the environment. Next. So this is the examples why I said that the link between the trade and environment actually is not a new issue. This is old issue, because if you look at the historical development of the WTO, we can see, for example, at the end of the Uruguay round in 1986 to 1994, actually, they already discussed about the link between trade and environment. The second one, if we are looking at the Doha Development Agenda from 2001 and 2007, they already discussed about this. So again, this is discussed by the members actually, because they think, the link between trade and environment is still very important and relevant to the current situation. And then the last one, actually, this is the current development about the issue between the link, between the trade and environment. Actually, we can see also from the environmental goods agreement, or we call that EGA, in 2014, where there are a lot of members of the WTO try to discuss again about the importance of the environment in the practices of the international trade. Next. So this is just the examples, the link between the trade and environment. For example, in 2001, especially on 5th of April 2001, there is a case. There was a case at the time between European communities and Canada. So the case actually was brought by the Canada or Canadian government, because they think the policy of the European community actually is unfair, and they think it is not according to the law and policy of the WTO. So it deals with the ban of imported goods consisting asbestos. Okay, as we know, actually asbestos is not very healthy for our environment. So that's why at the time, a lot of countries actually applied the policy to ban the imported goods concerning or consisting of asbestos. So Canada thinks that the policy from the European community actually was unfair, because they think there is another substitute materials that were allowed by the French government. France, as we know, actually is one of the members of the European communities at the time. So they think, if there is substitutes of that product, it means that this is like product. So if they ban the imported goods, they also ban another goods that's consisting of the asbestos. So that's why they brought this case actually to the dispute settlement body of the WTO. And then I think some parts of the Canada complaints actually were settled, and then the panel actually won several claims from the Canada, yeah, through this case. So from this case, actually, we can see the link between the trade and environment. Yeah, it's very, very close relationship between the trade and environment. So sometimes we cannot see which one is the cause, which one is the effect, because sometimes it can be vice versa. And the second one is the case deals with the United States and other countries, because the case actually was brought by 4 countries. The first one is India, Malaysia, Pakistan, and Thailand. So this case actually deals with the prohibition of certain shrimps and also shrimp products. So they said that the policy that's regulated by the US government actually is unfair, because they think this is part of the discrimination. So that's why these 4 countries actually complained and then brought this case to the dispute settlement body of the WTO. And the last one actually is the case dealing with the conventional gasoline. This is between the United States, and the case actually is was brought by 2 countries, which is Venezuela and Brazil. So this is just the examples how the relationship between the trade and environment is so close. So that's why I think when we are discussing about the international trade, we should also look at to other close issues, for example, like environmental issues. Next. So this is just recent development of the negotiations. It's like trade negotiations under the WTO perspective. There are 4 things that they are discussing right now. The first one is about trade and climate change. The second one is about trade and green economy. The third one is about sustainable development goals, or SDGs. And the last one is cooperations with multilateral environmental agreements. So this 4 actually is the evidence that how the importance of the trade and environment is. So that's why I think we have to focus on this one, because in the next 5 years or maybe in the next 10 years, there are a lot of cases dealing with the trade-related environmental issues. So I think that's all that I can share with all participants. And once again, I congratulate all participants who already or maybe have been selected by the committee to be the speakers, or maybe to be the presenters to these international seminars. And I hope the international seminars will be going well. And thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you for Tommy for the presentation about correlation between trade law and environment. We actually still have a little time left, so we now enter the Q&A session. I would like to have 2 questions for those who in this room and those who in the Zoom. Might want to use the raise hand feature, or maybe leave the comments in the chat. So any questions? So actually, Bob told me that I recently read some papers on article about the green economy or the green investment. So today's trend is not about investment for the sake of investment, but it's also needs some sustainability in that aspect. What your perspective about these issues?
So right now in Indonesia, actually we are now in Indonesia we are promoting we call the green economy and the green investment. Green investment means that all the investment has to focus on the development that is actually can be categorized as the environmentally friendly development. So we have to focus on the protections of the environment. So that's why if we want to invest, for example, in Indonesia, because I think it was in 2020, right? The government actually announced that now Indonesia will introduce about the green investment, where, you know, if you want to invest, you have to focus on the protections of the environment. And the second one, you are asking about the green economy, right? The green economy actually means that the economy that try to minimize the negative impacts of the development on environment. So all of the economy actually they're concerned with the environmental issues. So that's why we call this a very, very good examples actually to preserve and also to protect our environment in the future. Because through this policy, I think actually we comply with the policy from the WTO that we can see actually also focus on the environmentally friendly.
So it's so interesting topic, but I heard some. So environmental issues is something that's really going on trend on today's global changes, I think. So I heard some like a phrase that says today's world's grammar is not do you speak English, but more like do you speak environmentalist? I heard something like that, Professor. So it's really great to have this kind of conference regarding environmental sustainability. So because there's no more questions, I'd like to conclude for today's presentation. There's total 4 conclusion from each keynote speakers. From Dr. Kamarudin, I'd like to conclude that the plastic waste issues is a serious threat to our environment, so encouraging recycling waste and so sustainable manufacturing of plastic or alternative are strongly encouraged. So many countries has already announced ban or mandatory charging the use of one use of plastic bag for some time and also encouragement of reusable bags. The issue of illegal recycles also needs to be addressed. From Dr. Bashar S. Mohammed, I conclude that the scrap tires waste needs a lot to process or to get rid of. It needs a lot of space, potentially bring a lot of pests and cause sickness. The process of disposal, usually fire disposal, can cause a lot of harm and air pollution. So these tires landfills causes pollution from visual pollution, air pollution, and water pollution. So this rubber can be fused with cement to create better kind of concrete because it's electricity and it's more durable and more resistant to the weather. From Dr. Chia, I can conclude that the water operator to solve hazardous solid waste, it came from the issue of the need of clean water versus the growth of population is in this proportion. So that Dr. Chia proposed land flow that is a natural base that has no hazardous byproduct and cost-effective water operator to solve the solid waterways. It also helps to solve the problem from environmental protection and provide clean water and human health. And the last from Prof. Tommy, I can conclude that the trade law in correlation with the environmental issues is not a new issue. It is already discussed before in WTO, but actually there is no specific agreement dealing with the environmental, but we can find the spirit in the environmental issues on the framework and on the fundamental goals. So there is some example of cases about environmental disputes in GATT and WTO, from which we can see the correlation between trade and environment. So Prof. Tommy also can foresee for the next 5 to 10 years from now that would be a lot of environmental related issues. So I would like thanks to all of our speakers for today, for the great insight and new knowledge that we share for us. Can we have applause of appreciation to our keynote speakers? Okay. You can go back to your classes. Thank you for the time. I would like to give back the time to the masters of ceremony.
Thank you so much, Ms. Murthy, for the guide. And also thank you so much for all the speakers that already giving information and also lecture. Tari, do you know what time it is?
I think it's almost 12, if I'm mistaken.
Yes, it's almost 12. So you know what to do, right?
Yeah, I think it's a lunchtime, right?
It's a lunchtime. Okay, so we're going to take a break. And to all the attendants that join us offline here at Alana Yogyakarta, please, you may have take a break and have lunch at our lobby. We already have some preparation for all of you who join us offline. And also, who the participants join us on via Zoom, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back at 1. And also for the participant that Muslims, also we have musola, so it's time to pray as well. So you can have your time to pray at our musola. You can just go out and straight to the right. It will be on the right side. Yeah.
So we're going to continue the conference with the parallel sections breakout from offline and online. So enjoy your lunch and let's take a break.
Yep. So after the lunch, we'll be right back with the parallel section breakout, online and offline. While we're having lunch, we can just having a time to pray as well for the Muslims. Thank you and enjoy your lunch.
Mengantar langkah kecil menuju impian besar yang menjadi kenyataan. Universitas Janabadra merupakan lembaga pendidikan yang diselenggarakan oleh Yayasan Perguruan Tinggi Janabadra. Terletak tak jauh dari pusat kota Yogyakarta, membuat Universitas Janabadra memiliki akses yang mudah dijangkau dari manapun. Universitas Janabadra memiliki cita-cita luhur untuk membangun negeri dengan terus mencetak prestasi dan inovasi yang bermanfaat bagi masyarakat. Dengan berasaskan Pancasila dan Undang-Undang Dasar 1945, berwawasan kebangsaan, memiliki jati diri nasionalisme dan patriotisme. Universitas Janabadra mempersiapkan peserta didiknya menjadi insan intelektual yang profesional, berbudaya, dan bermoral tinggi. Visi dan rencana strategis Universitas Janabadra yaitu dengan mengembangkan potensi mahasiswa agar menjadi manusia yang berwawasan kebangsaan dan nasionalisme dalam mengabdikan diri bagi kepentingan bangsa dan negara, serta mendorong tumbuhnya jiwa entrepreneurship, technopreneurship, dan sociopreneurship di kalangan sivitas akademika. Kami memberikan pilihan bidang studi yang terbagi pada 4 fakultas dengan 11 program studi yang terdiri atas 8 program sarjana dan 3 program magister. Fakultas Hukum menyelenggarakan pendidikan tinggi hukum pada jenjang program sarjana dan program magister hukum. Kami memiliki visi menjadikan program studi hukum yang mampu menghasilkan sarjana hukum yang menguasai teori dan penerapan ilmu hukum, yang dilandasi semangat nasionalisme dan kebangsaan. Tujuan kami menghasilkan sarjana hukum yang siap mengabdikan diri bagi kepentingan bangsa dan negara, menguasai teori, serta memiliki keahlian profesi hukum yang berkualitas, bermoral, dan berintegritas tinggi. Fakultas Ekonomi
Cek, cek.
Cek, cek. Cek, cek.
This,
We are back.
Parliamentary is back. And we're about to announce the winner.
Tari, are you excited?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Okay, me either. So let's get to it. Who's gonna be the next Indonesian Idol?
Oh man, you kidding me, right?
Okay,
It should be called pepper, you know?
that's my bad, Tari.
Yeah, you
Okay,
are.
let's get it right. Go. The winner. Second place. The first runner-up. So I would like to repeat the winner of the runner-up best paper. Centennial, second image-based analysis of spatio-temporal variation of vegetation quality in Majalengka Regency, Indonesia. Congratulations, Ms. Nurvita and college.
Thank you.
Winning
Thank you very much.
runner-up. Ms. Nurvita, would you please give some testimony about the papers and the winning?
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for this award about our paper entitled Sentinel-2 Image-Based Analysis of Spatio-Temporal Variation.
The voice is too loud.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Because the connection, the internet connection here is very unstable. What about now? Is it clearer?
Your voice is very
Sorry?
small. So we cannot hear you clearly.
What
Maybe the
about
internet
now?
Connection?
Yes, my internet connection is so unstable here, but thank you very much for all of the committee of the icoflast 2020 for this award for our paper entitled Sentinel-2 Image-Based Analysis of Spatio-Temporal Variation of Vegetation Quality in Majalengka Regency, Indonesia. Hopefully, together we can maintain our environment so that our environment can be sustainable for our future and for our next generation. Thank you.
Once again, congratulations, Ms. Nurvita Mustikasari and friends.
Okay,
We're going to continue the best paper.
So the best paper, aka the winner, goes to.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please. Emulsion polymers of carbon metals, codes, and metal salts with terrible aluminum, hydrotric surfactants, and soil stabilizer.
Yay! Congratulations! Congratulations for the best paper. Even though I'm not involving to this paper, I'm feel proud already. Congratulations.
So maybe Mr. Ahmad, would you like to give some testimony related to the winning and the papers?
Yeah, Mr. Ridwan, the time is yours, please.
I'm Ridwan, the student of Professor Ahmad Zainal Abidin, and I would like to acknowledge for the icoflast committee for the opportunity to join this conference so that we can present our work regarding the emulsion polymers of the carboxymethyl cellulose and methyl methacrylate with TBA surfactant for the soil stabilizer. And this study actually is still in the laboratory scale. So we hope in the future that this study can be implemented in the commercial scale in order to enhance the strength, the soil comprehensive strength that can be used to substitute the that can be used in the soil reinforcement technology that can also be used to substitute the asphalt pavements in the future. So we hope that this material can be applied as a material that can strengthen the texture of the soil that is sustainable and also environmentally friendly. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So congratulations, and our committee will reach out to you through email and electronics message.
Yes, congratulations to all the winners, and our committee will reach you out through the emails and other electronic messages.
Thank you very much.
So, last but not least, we are on the last section. We're going to on the thank you part. We'd like to thank you so much to all the participants who are joining the icoflast 2021. For what I heard, that all the paper is very tight. Every paper has their powers. And I heard from the team committee, they are confused, they are working hard to choose between 50 paper into a 2 paper as the winner.
So thank you to the law faculty of Janabadra University of Yogyakarta, and thank you for all the committees and all the teams who are working very hard. Without your support, this event would not be a success.
So, we like to say bye for now. My name is Winarno.
My name is Lintari.
Bye for now and see you
on icoflast 2022.
Yes, icoflast 2022. Thank you. Thank you. Sudah Mas? Sudah cut? Ya Bapak Ibu terima kasih banyak. Kami mohon maaf saya dan